What's up guys, Ryan here from Mudgunner, and today I wanted to tell you guys what I like about Sig Sauer and the guns I have from them. Shill? No, not really. Sig doesn't even know who I am, but Sig, if you're watching, I could use a spear in 308. But yeah, I have about 10 minutes to make this video because I'm running out of storage on my phone because I'm trying to record another video for you guys that's taken a couple days. So let's get through this. So I have a few Sig Sauers. I bought all these with my own money. Again, nothing was provided by Sig. That'd be really cool, but yeah, I'm just gonna kind of go, we'll start with handguns first. So we'll start on this side. So again, I have 10 minutes, but I think that we can get it done. So this is a Sig Sauer P320 M17. Well, it's not even a P320. This is the actual M17 commemorative. They did 5,000 of these. So it is the closest military edition one you can get. And internally, there are some slight differences. I don't know every single part. But yeah, you have all flat dark earth features on there, trigger, slide lock, safety selector. And then internally, it is a little bit different. It's also got an M17 serial number. And yeah, it does not say P320 on the slide at all. So cool pistol, shoots nice. You'll notice with mine, sometimes the slide doesn't go all the way forward. I'm not doing it very well right now, but sometimes it does not go all the way forward, and it requires 124 grain NATO ammo, which it should have a break-in period, but I've honestly shot maybe like 200 rounds through this gun because I have so many other guns. But yeah, it is a cool gun nonetheless, and I think the 320 is a pretty cool competitor in today's market. Prior to that, it was really Glock, and you have other big companies too, but Glock was the biggest. But since Sig made these so modular that you can change the fire control unit, the frame, all that stuff, I think they took Glock's popularity for a minute, and they're still very popular, but I mean, you can't get rid of Glock, let's be real, but this is definitely a lot more modular than a Glock in today's market, and you can basically make them look like this. And this is a fully upgraded Sig. The only thing that's Sig on it is the fire control unit, which is the trigger. Everything else is a different company. Now, my only thing with this versus this, it's kind of like any other gun. The more you change, you okay, dude? Sorry, my dog's choking on some water. He looks okay. Where was I? So the more you change in the gun, the more unreliable you could potentially make it. Just because you buy expensive parts and put them all together does not mean it's going to function as good as the real deal, which is, you know, the all Satan brand. But this gun does shoot pretty nice. It is a little ammo picky. So what do we got here? We have a Norso slide, a true barrel. I think it's also a true comp. I don't know. I bought this way, so yeah, don't quote me on that. But it's a true barrel Norso slide. It's got a primary arms red dot, a Wilson combat grip module. It's the Sig fire control unit, and then I got a Streamlight TLR1 on here. It shoots cool when it runs good, but it is a little bit more ammo picky. So I'm not gonna say that's a Sig problem. Like again, this gun is mostly not even them anymore. So yeah, just know that the more you change on a gun, you could potentially run into some issues. The only thing with this one is, again, it likes the 124 grain ammo. Moving on to the next pistol, I have one of the Sig's most tried and true pistols, the Sig 226. Mine is specifically the Legion, and it's more specifically the Legion SAO, so single action only. So this gun will not fire with the hammer down. It's not double action, it is only single action. And that gives me the flat trigger versus the curved trigger, and I like the flat trigger a lot more. I also like the safety selector more than the decocker. So the double action, even on the Legion, is very heavy. So I like how light this single action is. And yeah, I always wanted a 226, and the Legion was just super awesome in my opinion. I would also like to get the Mark 25 at some point just because, you know, Navy SEAL gun, but this works just as good. So, and probably better with the trigger. I really like the 226 Legion. Now they're American made, but one cool thing about Sig is they're still made in Germany, they're still made in Switzerland, and they're still made in America. They make guns in different parts of the world, which is cool. So the Swiss ones would be like the 550 series. The German ones, they're still doing some 226s in Germany. I don't know what else they're doing in Germany, but this is an American made Sig. And then the final pistol I have by them is my Sig Spartan 1911. I think they make a pretty good 1911, and I love all the different colors they've come out with. Downside is a lot of them, they just phase out. So I don't even know how much 1911s they're currently doing right now, but at one point they had so many cool models. And I do Spartan race. I have a Spartan tattoo on my back. I thought this one was so awesome when it came out because I have that exact Spartan tattoo on me. And I just went to Sparta back in November of last year now, and I did the Spartan Race World Championship there. It was awesome. So this one really spoke to me. I also want to get the Spartan 2, which is like a sideways helmet design on there. And yeah, I think they make a really cool 1911. So I like this one. And then we'll go to rifles now. So all of these are rifles. I bought 2 factory SBRs, and then I have this one. So this is my Sig Virtus, and this is basically, this is an MCX. All the Vertices, Rattlers, Spears, those are all MCXs, and I think it's a very cool platform. It's one of the coolest American-made, like, updated AR platforms out there, in my opinion. And this one is piston driven. It's an 11.5-inch barrel. I'm running their SRD 762 suppressor on there. Even though it's a 5.56, it runs really well. I'll show you guys a clip. This thing is a fireball without the suppressor on there.
Threat!
And again, I think it's a really cool AR-15 platform. It's not a true AR-15 because it's a piston system. It's got a side folding stock. It doesn't operate the same as a standard AR-15. So I realize that, guys, but it's very AR-ish, like the lower, everything like that. You can even get standard AR lowers for this with an adapter for the piston system. But yeah, very cool system, and it runs really reliably. Unsuppressed or suppressed, this gun runs amazing. And I've never had any issues with my Virtus. Now, one thing with Sig is, depending on the generation, they have had issues with a lot of their guns. I think part of that might just be trying to push stuff to the market too fast. And yeah, I mean, with that being said, I still really like their guns when they get it right. And I've never had any issues with any of mine. So my 1911, the rear sight was kind of off when I got it, so I just needed a gunsmith to push it. The one here we'll talk about in a minute, but those had issues on the Gen 1s. But the Gen 1 MCX apparently had some issues. The Virtus is considered the Gen 2, so I never had any issues with it and still have never had any issues with it. But yeah, I really like it. I'm kind of sad that they no longer do the gray color, which you guys may not be able to see the gray very well. My lighting in here is a little off right now. Normally I run 2 lights, but I have one of the lights being used for something else. So yeah, I really like the gray color they came out with on these. I think it was a perfect color scheme, and I got a Viking Tactic sling to match it, and it looks good with all the black accessories on there. So that's my Virtus. And then next up in the MCX lineup that I have is the Rattler, which is probably one of the most iconic MCXs. The Rattler is a very cool 300 blackout gun. It's a 5.5-inch barrel. I turned mine into an SD or an LVAW, whatever you want to call it. I'm running a Q half Nelson suppressor on there. And this one also runs great when it finds a round that it likes. Mine so far does not like the SMB 200 grain ammo, but it tends to eat everything else just fine, no issues with anything else. And yeah, I would say the issues that I have had with this are ammo related, not gun related. It runs flawlessly with good ammo. So yeah, still an MCX, just chambered in 300 blackout. They do make Rattlers in 5.56 now. They did make Virtuses in 300 blackout. They were a 9-inch barrel, which was very cool. And now they are on the Gen 3 MCXs, which would be the Spear or the Rattler LT. So the Spear is like their new coyote color. They also added different calibers. So prior to the Spear, I think you only ever had 300 blackout or 5.56. But when they came out with the Spear, they now have 308. They have the 277 Fury, which is 6.8 by 51. They have 7.62 by 39, and then they still have 5.56 and 300 blackout. But yeah, I think it's a very cool system. I like it a lot, and I plan on getting a Spear or 2 in the future. I'd like to get a 308 just so I have, you know, 3 different generations and 3 different calibers. I think that would be cool. But I wouldn't mind getting a Spear in 5.56. I really like the Blown Deadline multicam Spears. My condolences to Mike from Blown Deadline. He passed away this year, which was very unfortunate. One of the coolest Cerakote companies out there. If you don't know who they are, go check them out because they do a lot of cool stuff. Specifically a lot of cool Star Wars themed stuff, but they do everything. And they did do some multicam Spears, or the MCX Spears, and those came out amazing. So I'd like to get one of those at some point. But yeah, so far I'm very happy with my 2 MCXs. These were both factory SBRs. I think they're around 2017-ish era, but I don't exactly know on those. So that's my Rattler and 300 blackout. And then the last gun I have to show you guys was my very first Sig rifle. It was definitely before all these. This is the Sig 716 Precision. It's an 18-inch 308 AR-10, also piston driven. And this is one where I think Sig has gone backwards. They went from making a really cool 308 to, I'm not as impressed with their new Sig 716s. So the new ones are all direct impingement. I don't think they are currently producing a piston-driven 716, which I don't understand why. I really liked it. Apparently they had issues with Gen 1s, which this is a Gen 1. I've never had any issues. I recently added a OSS muzzle brake because I bought an OSS Helix QD 762 suppressor. I haven't picked it up yet, but that will be going on here in the near future, and I'm very excited for that because it's piston-driven. It's got adjustable settings on here. And yeah, this was a very cool gun from the factory because it basically came how you see it minus the muzzle device I put on there and the scope. So it came with the Magpul PRS, with a Geisley trigger, with their flip-up sights, which I still have. I just took them off for the scope. It came with the Harris bipod. It came with a PWS brake. Did not come with this Magpul grip, but I put it on there. But yeah, comes from the factory with the Harris bipod and the Geisley trigger and the Magpul stock. I thought that was cool. It's 18-inch barrel. It's a pretty heavy gun. I don't know exactly how much it weighs. It came in a hard case, and the paper with the test group on there, it was 180 grain Lapua ammo, which was pretty cool. So I think this kind of falls into the category of they don't make them like they used to, in my opinion. And I think it'd be really cool if they brought them back. They did do a Gen 2 716 with a 16-inch barrel. I just never got the chance to hold one in person. So I wouldn't mind getting one of those in the future, but these Gen 1 716s are really cool. And that probably keeps me right at the 10 minutes, but these are the SIGs that I have, and I really like them, guys. I think they're cool. They make really cool stuff, and yeah, you never know what they're gonna come out with next. They just partnered with Flux to do a Flux Raider Legion. That actually looks pretty sick, and I wouldn't mind getting one of those. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for a cool video that I have coming for you this week, and yeah, until next time.